Well, on domestic commodities market, we're looking at palm oil. Nigeria plans to increase its palm oil production by 700% over the next 8 years to help improve its foreign exchange earnings that are largely dependent on crude oil exports. Now, the new policy will boost local production to about 5 million tons from 600,000 tons a year by investing as much as 180 billion naira beginning this year. Now, on Friday last week, the central bank said it will close the bank accounts of firms caught smuggling into the country any goods for which access to foreign exchange has been restricted. Interestingly, palm oil is on the list. Let's look at all of these. Desola Simone, one of the research analysts with Financial Derivatives Company, joins us now from the UK. Hello, Desola. Good afternoon.
Hi, Chimeze. Thank you for having me on the show.
So palm oil is on the list of 43 items, and now additional measures to penalize smuggling is being contemplated, including blacklisting. How do you see this development as a catalyst for the palm oil industry in Nigeria, even as the country plans to increase palm oil production by 700%?
Thanks for that question, Chimeze. I think first and foremost, it is important to acknowledge that, the idea of trying to restore the palm oil sector back to its glory days of the 50s and 60s is a noble idea and is a laudable one. However, the concern is the how. This present administration is notorious for its protectionist stance. It is notorious for its self-sufficiency, produce what you eat what you produce mantra. It's also notorious for its ad hoc emergency policy. So it is not surprising at all that we are looking to significantly ban or discourage import of palm oil into the country. However, like you said, domestic production is about 600,000 tons per annum, and demand is estimated to be about 1.4, 1.5 million tons per annum. Already, you see that there is a gap there. There's a gap of about 900,000 tons, which is filled by imports. Now that the government is looking to clamp down on imports while domestic production has not increased to meet domestic demand, I think the effect of that would be that prices would jump. Prices of palm oil locally would jump. Prices of end products which use palm oil as inputs would also jump, and the producers of palm oil locally would enjoy abnormal profits. But what is painful about this is that in a country where about half of 50% of the population live on less than $2 a day, such jumps in prices of commodities would make the average Nigeria poorer in real terms, meanwhile enriching the producers of these commodities. What I think the federal government and the central bank should focus on now is to increase the production of palm oil locally, and it is not enough to give 9% loans to the farmers. That is not enough to boost domestic production, because there are other constraints there are other factors that are constraining domestic production of palm oil. One is the infrastructural gaps. Another one is the regulatory environment. An average entrepreneur in Nigeria will tell you that it's extremely difficult to do business in Nigeria. In fact, recently, Dangote cracked a joke that, on Judgment Day, that God will ask Nigerian entrepreneurs that, you have suffered enough being an entrepreneur in Nigeria. We do not need to punish you twice, so go to heaven. So that just shows you the problems of being an entrepreneur, of starting a business in Nigeria. So I think in addition to all these factors, the government needs to make an enabling environment for palm oil producers in Nigeria, to make the environment friendly, and the private sector will do their business once the environment is friendly for investment. I think then once all these factors are put together, then we can be looking to restrict our imports.
Desola, you talked about pricing. Now, the price of palm oil has dropped by 23%. That was in the last year. Now, this has made it possible to smuggle into Nigeria. Should the government support the industry with perhaps an intervention floor price?
I am a strong proponent of free market capitalism. So I think that, first of all, the government should not intervene in the market. It should just allow market forces adjust the market and bring the market back to equilibrium. But you talked about a price floor. So the idea of a price floor is that, the price of a commodity is so low, and then the producers lobby the government to, establish a price floor, which usually is higher than the market price of the commodity. To, so the idea of the price floor is to incentivize producers to produce more. But that causes market failure, causes some form of market distortion, and overall, it leads to worse economic outcomes. So the idea is, once, for instance, the prevailing market price of a 25-liter gallon of palm oil in Nigeria is about 10,000 naira. So a market floor will be about 15,000 naira, or some amount above the prevailing market price. What would happen is that demand would significantly reduce. That means people would buy less. They'll be looking at substitutes, and some other consumers would just drop out of the market completely. But since the price is higher, it will incentivize producers to buy more. So we have a situation where we have a surplus, but no one is buying these commodities because the prices are too high for the consumers. And in that situation, the sellers cannot reduce their prices because the price is set by the government. So the government would either have to buy up the surplus, or the surplus will be wasted. So eventually, I think that government intervention, especially in form of price controls, I think it leads to worse economic outcomes, and I do not think the government should intervene to support.
Okay, Desola, let's just hope that the government will definitely come out with some incentives that can actually help Nigeria compete with countries like Malaysia and Indonesia. Let's leave it at that. Thank you for your time, Desola, this morning. We'll move on now. NASPER'S Limited biggest shareholder is considering whether to reduce its 245 billion rand stake in Africa's biggest company because of concern it's overexposed to a single stock. South Africa's government employees' pension fund is being encouraged by its manager, the Public Investment Corporation, to reduce its NASPER'S shareholding of about 16%. NASPER'S value has grown 72-fold since 2004 on the back of the success of an early-stage investment in Chinese game developer Tencent Holdings Limited, which listed in Hong Kong that year. And Ethiopia will split its state telecoms provider into two businesses before it is privatized, a key part of government's plan to open up one of the world's last major closed telecoms markets. The government will split Ethio Telecom into two business units along infrastructure and service sector lines. Ethiopia could require as much as $2.2 billion to modernize its stricken, overburdened telecom sector. And finally, a court in Democratic Republic of Congo has upheld the government's suspension of a 2G telecoms license of VODACOM Group's local unit. VODACOM Congo has 3 months to renegotiate its 2G license with the ministry before it goes up for auction. The ministry says the cost of renewing the license is $65 million. VODACOM, which holds a 51% stake in VODACOM Congo, did not immediately respond to a request. The South African company has previously rejected the ministry's claims that the renewal of its 2G license in 2015 did not follow proper procedures. The suspension does not affect VODACOM Congo's 3G or 4G licenses in Congo. It is not clear how many of its 12 million customers only have access to 2G coverage. And that's it on the program. Thank you for watching. I'm Chimeze Ubi Iwagu.